Yasharala, Gal Halal Yahweh, Bahasham Yahawashai, Bahasham Rakakadash. Good double honors to the apostles and prophets and elders of GMS Camp, better known as Great Millstone, for the 100% truth that have been currently edified under. I do a lesson today, and the name of the lesson, the title of the lesson is Yahweh chose us, the children of Israel, and it will not change. Because again, we are constantly doing this, and I want to doing it as a more in-depth understanding from the beginning, like I say roughly from the beginning, straight going down into the end, as to how he still chose us. The scripture already made it plain that nobody else could be grafted in. But you have people saying that they are spiritual Israel, allowing other nations to be grafted in. And I just come here to show you all that that's an incorrect statement, because you all have to answer these questions that has been posted up from the Old Testament even onto the New, right? Even going on to the end, it shows you the 12 gates that we have to that is presented. What is on that 12 gates is not referring to anybody else but the children of Israel. So come on, let me not do this. Let me not do this, right? So I know get up this morning, just let me know. So let me get to the lesson straight up. So right. So the beginning of the lesson will be going into Genesis, right? Chapter 12 and verse. I just go and read a rough understanding from 1 to 3, right? It says, Now Yahweh had said unto Abram, Get thee out of thy country, and from thy kindreds, right, and from thy father's house, unto a land that I will show thee, right? And it goes to say, And I will make of thee a great nation, and I will bless thee, and make thy name great, and thou shalt be a blessing, right? And as we go in a little bit more, it says, right? And I will bless them that bless thee, and curse them that curse thee, and in thee shall all families of the earth be blessed. Now, so like for the noise in the background with them vehicles and them, like I told you before, right? And at home, so and which part I reside might be on the roadside to be exact. So as you continue, it says, right? So what Abraham did, he was obedient. Abraham departed as Yahweh had spoken unto him, right? And it says, and Lot went with him, and Abraham was 75 years old when he departed out of Haran, right? So this already gives you an understanding as to the blessings that Abraham would have received because of his obedience, right? Which was read. And I want to jump down because I don't want to. When you all get the time, you could take some time for those who are new and read Genesis. You could read Genesis. Matter of fact, read the first 4: Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Deuteronomy, even Numbers, if you all want to, will give you all a rough understanding of the chosen, the laws, and everything that you all would need to know. The rest would just be like just storylines coming up as things taking place, and of course prophecies being revealed and fulfilled and continue in a continuous understanding, right? That is where scripture says it's not new under the sun. So anyways, let's go further. Let's get more into this. Let's go into jumping into chapter 17 now. Dealing with Isaac, to be exact, and 1 to 7, it says, and the reason why I'm doing this is to show the covenant that was formed from Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, which was a chosen seed, and then his name now turning from Jacob into Israel, of course, allowing thus giving us our name, of course, in the Paleo Hebrew would be Yasharala, to be exact, if I'm correct. You're all correct on that one. Anyways, so as it says, and when Abraham was 90 years old and 9, right, Yahweh appeared to Abraham and said unto him, I am the almighty power, right? Walk before me and be thou perfect. And as you go further, it says, It's like a video thing. And I will make my covenant between me and thee, and will multiply thee exceedingly, right? So, and Abraham fell on his face, and and the Most High talked with him, saying, As for me, behold, my covenant is with thee, and thou shalt be a father of many nations, right? Which, of course, he was. He was a lot, to be exact. Many, multiple dealing with this time, to be exact. And as you go further, it says, Neither shall thy name anymore be called Abram, but thy name shall be called Abraham. So his name was turned to Abram into Abraham. Right? As you go further, it says, it's like for a father of many nations have I made thee. Right? And when you go into the 7, it says, And I will make thee exceedingly fruitful, and I will make nations of thee. The kings shall come out, and King Selachia shall come out of thee. Right? And 7, and I will what? Establish my covenant between me and thee and thy seed, and after thee in their generation, you understand? For an everlasting covenant, to be a power unto thee, and to be unto thy seed after thee. Of course, meaning or giving full understanding to the children of Israel. Because Abraham's seed, chosen seed, would have been Isaac, not Ishmael, right? And then from there, the chosen seed would have been Jacob. And then the generation dealing with the children of Israel after Jacob's name was turned into Israel. But we will get that. Like, go down from 17 into 19 to 20, 21, I believe, if I have it correct. All right, let me just read. And it says, And the Most High said, Sarah thy wife shall bear thee a son, indeed, and thou shalt call his name Isaac. And I will establish my covenant with him for an everlasting covenant, and with his seed after him. Understand? It says it clears it up. Again, this is why we read. It clears it up correctly and says, And as for Ishmael, I have heard thee. Behold, I have blessed him and will make him fruitful, and I will multiply him exceedingly. Right? 12 princes shall he begat, and I will make him a great nation. But, here it says, But my covenant will I establish with Isaac, not Ishmael. He will receive blessing because he is the first, but he is not the chosen. He is not the election. He's not part of that covenant forming down to Israel. Right? So you see there's a definition. You see there's a difference, a separation given. Right? So now let you continue. Which Sarah shall bear. Understand? Which Sarah shall bear unto thee at this set time in the next year. So with that understanding, we can see that Isaac was the one that was indeed chosen because the scriptures made it plain. Now let's go on into Genesis, jumping down to Genesis 28. Where it is? Genesis chapter, sorry, I went out. Chapter 28 and verse 10. I believe, I could simply read. It is what it is. I'll go through it regardless. Right. I want to read from 10, coming up. Should I get to the point? But let me go through it, right? Just so you all to give understanding. And it says, right, when you go into 10, Right. Sorry about some noise in the background. I'm continue from I'll go from 28 and verse. Let go from 12, right? I mean, of course, the title of this part is Jacob's Dream, right? But let go from 12 or 13. Let go from 12, and it says, right? Just to give a rough understanding, because we know at the end of the day, he was supposed to be that chosen vessel to bring forth that of course chosen generation. As we know, the peculiar treasure and a son of peculiar people, or the holy nation to be exact, right? And it goes on to say, right? And he dreamed, and behold, a ladder set up on the earth, right? And the top of it reached the heaven. And behold, the angels of the Most High ascending and descending on it. As you go further, it says what? And behold, Yahweh stood above it and said, I am Yahweh, power of Abraham, thy father, and power of Isaac. Right? And it continues, it says, the land whereon thou liest, to thee will I give it, to thy seed, right? So, and when you go further, it says, and thy seed shall be as the dust of the earth, right? Meaning multiple, numerous, right? And thou shalt spread abroad to the west, hint, anyways, and to the east, and to the north, and to the south, right? And in thee and in thy seed shall all the families of the earth be blessed, right? As you go further, it says, and behold, I am with thee, and I will keep thee in all places whither thou goest, and will bring thee again into this land, for I will not leave thee until I have done that which I have spoken of thee. Right? So, I mean, yes, we already catching a proper understanding from the beginning, dealing this. For those who have the understanding of hearing this, you all should already know what I'm coming at. But I want to stick to the topic because I feel as though I'll go too much into it. So, I'll continue further. It says, which part I reach? I'll read at 16. It says, Jacob awaked out of his sleep, and he said, surely Yahweh is in this place, and I knew it not. And go into 17, it says, he was afraid, right? And he said, how dreadful is this place? This is none other but the house of the Most High, of the Most High, and this is the gate of heaven, right? And it says, and Jacob rose up early in the morning and took the stone that he had put for his pillows, imagine that, and set it up for a pillar, and poured oil upon the top of it, right? And when you go into 19, it says, and he called the name of the place Bethel, right? But the name of that city was called Luz, right? At the first, to be exact. Then Jacob made a vow. Jacob vowed a vow, saying, if the Most High will be with me, I will keep me in this way that I go, and will give me bread to eat and raiment to put on, right? Or raiment, so that I come again to my father's house in peace. Then shall Yahweh be my power, right? And this stone which I have set for a pillar shall be the power, the Most High's house of all, and of all that thou shalt give me, I will surely give the tenth unto thee, right? And I jump in from there to go into Psalms, just to give a rough understanding, because we know this history has been documented. So let me get into, when you go into Psalms chapter 6, and it says, and to verse 10, it says, O ye seed of Abraham, his servant, ye children of Jacob, his chosen, right? He is Yahweh, our power. His judgment are in all the earth. He had remembered his covenant forever, right? The words which he commanded to 1,000 generations, which covenant he made with Abraham and his oath unto Isaac, and confirmed the same unto Jacob for a law, and to Israel for an everlasting covenant, right? So we see the same thing being repeated again with the understanding, right? Now I just want to go get a quick go back into Genesis to show the name being how yes, how, but his name really being turned from Jacob into Israel, to be exact. When you go into Genesis, I believe it's 30 yeah, 32 1 somewhere here, boy. I wonder, let's see. I think it right here. I'm gonna go up. I will go up. I will read from 24. And it says, and Jacob was left alone, and there were and there, right? Jacob was left alone, and there wrestled a man with him until the breaking of the day. And it says, and when he saw that he prevailed not against him, he touched the hollow of his thigh, and the hollow of Jacob's thigh was out of joint. Now, with that understanding, I mean, it would seem as though he displaced his joint. But anyways, let me go further, right? And he said, let me go, for the day breaketh. And he said, I will not let thee go, except thou bless me, right? And he said unto him, for what is thy name? And he said, Jacob, right? And he said, thy name shall be called no more Jacob, but Israel, right? For as a prince hast thou power with the Most High, and with men, and has prevailed, right? So, with that understanding, you can see where the name has gotten changed. Now, from that, the reason why, like I said, I go into it because the title, remember the title of the name, Yahweh chose the children of Israel and it will not change, right? I don't know how much more time I have to do this, but I just want to bring it out to give you a lining coming to that understanding, right? When I go into Exodus, which is a precept that I love to use, because it gives a wonderful understanding without you can't go against the scriptures, the precept at the end of the day, because it's self-explanatory. It makes it plain. It's in Exodus 19 and verse 5 and 6. It says, now therefore, this is dealing, of course, let me read it, I'll tell after. Now therefore, if ye will obey my voice indeed and keep my covenant, then ye shall be a peculiar treasure unto me above all people, for all the earth is mine. And ye shall be unto me a kingdom of priests and a holy nation. And these are the words which thou shalt speak unto the children of Israel. Now, of course, this is dealing when they were saved, basically, from Egypt, from the hand of from Pharaoh and his nasty, wicked ass Egyptian ass. I use that name too much, but that's just where it is, right? And they were into the wilderness, and they were given that understanding to form a covenant. And when you go further, you would see that in 7 and 8, and of course, forming the covenant, forming that wonderful covenant within 8, 9, of course, as well. But you all could get some time to read it, because I want to go into this. When I go into the cross-reference to Exodus 19 and 5, right, it also gives you a clear understanding. When you go into it, you would see, going down into peculiar, right? A peculiar, right? There's a specific one. Just to give you a understanding. And it says, because as you can see, Exodus 19 and 5 and 6 goes into what? Cross-reference to this. So it says, for I, Yahweh, had chosen Jacob unto himself, and Israel for his peculiar treasure. Now that is directly in agreement with Exodus. Cross-reference again. And the reason why I like to do this is because The scriptures are making itself plain, right? It's like it can't really go against the precepts that is given, to be exact. And this is the reason why I do this lesson, because we have done this before, but you have many questions to ask, to answer, right? For those who want to say you could be grafted in. It is as it is. It is what it is, to be exact. When you go into Psalm chapter 89 and 33, which was shown just now, I'm going to go back into it, which is indeed I'm going to go into it. Going back into 135, for those who didn't see the connection, 135 and 4, I believe is this one, or is in Exodus itself, cross-reference, right? You'll see Psalms, it's not this one, it's the next one, I believe, 89 and 33 and 34. Let me go back, just to show you all before we continue, right? What about straight? Let me go into the topic. Let me not stray. Let me get into it directly. 89 and 34, right? So like for that, people. It says, "For my covenant will I not break, nor alter the things that is gone out of my lips." Meaning he's not going to change it. It's already written as such, and it's not going to change, right? I think, and that goes into Leviticus. Look right here. I mean, I can read it right here, right as it is. Leviticus chapter what? 26 and 44. "And yet for all that, when they be in the land of their enemies, I will not cast them away, neither will I abhor them," right? "Nor to destroy them utterly, and to break my covenant with them. I am Yahweh their power." So he's not going to do that. Right? So now, and then even so, you go down into this again, dealing with the cross references. We're doing something a little different today. With the cross references, going back into Psalms, right? Something a little new, because I was playing around with the cross references and I realized these things that we preach, whether it be willingly or unwillingly, do connect, and even shows it by the cross reference of the app itself. And for many people don't see that. So you literally see what I see in here. And it goes into what? Malachi 3 and 6, dealing with the lesson. "I am Yahweh, I change not, therefore ye sons of Jacob are not consumed." So you see? And just to clarify, that is not dealing with any other nation like we have done multiple times before. You go into Psalms chapter 147, which we have done already, and verse 19 and 20. Right? Sorry, one person. "He showed his words unto Jacob, his statutes and his judgments unto Israel. He has not dealt so with any nation, and for his judgment they have not known them. Praise ye Yahweh." And when you go into the NLT, it says, "He had not done this for any other nation," which we have brought out before. Right? So he has not, and he's not doing it with any other nation. That is why when you go into Isaiah chapter 40 and verse 15, scriptures made it plain, because when you really think about it, right? If this, when you go into 15, it says, "Behold, the nations are as a drop of a bucket, and are counted as the small dust of a balance. And behold, he taketh up the isles as a very little thing." Now listen to this part. "And Lebanon is not sufficient to burn, nor the beast thereof sufficient for a burnt offering." 17, "All the nations before him are as nothing, and they are counted to him as less than nothing and vanity." Then you'll have to answer that. If you're so special to be grafted in, and he said he's not going to break his covenant, and he said y'all are less than nothing, then let me put two and two together. He's only referring to the children of Israel, his peculiar treasure, his holy nation, not anybody else. You're not going to receive no everlasting salvation. I'm sorry. right? It is what it is. Okay? So, and to even get that even with a bit rough, rough understanding, Matazabats has a video with this particular precept, and I love it so much that I had to go into the lesson. And when I read it through, it make even more perfect sense, because, like, come on, that was saying these brothers are versing the truth, and I always be posting their lessons that they put up so that people could see it, get edification, right? So, anyways, when you go into Isaiah chapter 41 and verse 8 and 9, it says, "But thou, Israel, art my servant, Jacob, who I have chosen, the seed of Abraham, my friend." It says, "Thou whom I have taken from the ends of the earth, and called thee from the chief men thereof, and said unto thee, Thou art my servant, I have chosen thee, and not cast thee away." Now, when you jump into the cross reference, it's supposed to be seeing something that looks familiar. Right here, I have chosen, going down, Romans 11 and 1 and 2. Scriptures made a matter. I have to go into it. Let me just leave it so and read it. And it says, Romans 11, verse 1, sorry. I say then, had Yahweh cast away his people? God forbid. For I am also an Israelite of the seed of Abraham, of the tribe of Benjamin. And verse 2, Yahweh had not cast away his people, which he foreknew. What ye not what the scriptures saith of Elias? How he maketh intercession of the Most High against Israel, saying. But just to give a rough understanding, because I would go into it, I want to continue the lesson. Let me see how much time I have, how much time I do, 27 minutes. Matter of fact, I'll continue the lesson. Because, and this was we said. So when you go into that now, Romans 11, and then you take a little step back. Let me go into Romans 11 and take a two touch back. Romans 9. You understand? And when you read the title makes it plain. There's literally solicitude for Israel. And when you go into the next one, it says God's selection for Israel, of Israel, sorry. It's making it plain. When you go, a favorite precept I like to use as well, Romans 9 and 3 and 4, it says, "For I could wish that myself were cursed from Hamashiach, for my brethren, my kinsmen, according to the flesh." I don't know how much more time I have to stress on this. According to the flesh. According to the bloodline, the genealogy, the forefathers that are of what? The flesh or the blood of the Israelites. He's not speaking to anybody else. How do we know that? Let me go back. "For I could wish that myself were cursed from Hamashiach." Now, we understand that my brethren, my kinsmen, according to the flesh, who are Israelites, to whom pertaineth the adoption. So you see, and the glory, and the covenants, and the giving of the law, and the service of Yahweh, and the promises. And this goes back directly to what? To the covenant that was formed, because only the children of Israel was given the law. And you could get that even into the Old in Leviticus chapter 26 and verse 46, past and 44, right? Given a rough understanding. These are the statutes and judgments and laws which the Most High, or Yahweh, made between the children of Israel in Mount Sinai by the hand of Moses. So it's not referring to other nations, but the children of Israel. Even you can even get roughly paraphrasing, the oracles of God was given to the children of Israel. It didn't say it was given to Esau, Edom. It didn't say it was given to Elam, Moabites, Ammon, or anybody else. So you see? So you have that understanding, right? So now, as we go further, going forward, already establishing and showing proof that guess what? His laws and covenants not going to change. Meaning, if you choose to use spiritual Israel to graft in, that is changing the covenant. And if you claim solely and truly that this is what it is, and everybody else is also going to receive everlasting salvation as the children of Israel, as many of y'all do say, then let me go into Revelations chapter 22 and see what it says about your false doctrines. Into 17 and 18, I believe it was 18 and 19. Let me go into 18, and it says, "For I testify unto every man that heareth the words of this prophecy of the book, if any man shall add unto these things, Yahweh shall add unto thee the plagues that are written in this book." And it says, "And if any man shall take away from the words of the book, of the prophecies, the Most High shall take away his part out of the book of life, and out of the holy city, and from the things which were written in this book." So y'all have to now really stop and examine and think. If Yahweh changed not, and he's not going to cast us away, and he's not going to change his promises and his covenants to anybody else but us, and he deemed the other nations as heathens, or as what? Nothing but spittles and less than nothing, and you know that he changed not, and you see how he come down to choosing from election to election, forming covenant to covenant, to coming down to what? The children of Israel being his peculiar treasure or people, and his holy nation that was mentioned multiple times in the book, the election, the saints, the list goes on. If you all choose to ignore that fact, that was already given in scripture, the definitions of these things in the Bible, and want to add on and take away your own parts, then by all means go ahead. This is my last lesson to y'all 2/3 and bug outs. All I'm going to be doing from now on is be posting about the end time prophecies, dealing with the mark of the beast and so on and so forth. This is my last lesson to y'all, right? Y'all see it in the scriptures made it plain, right? We have went through Gentiles, explaining Gentiles in all forms, how much times we were Gentiles, because how much time we fall away, even in this current state that we are in. I live in Trinidad. I'm not supposed to be here. We don't even know our history. When we go to school, we learn of other people's history. Christopher Columbus, and this and that, and the Indians, and the Africans, which are the Hamites, and this and that. And when it comes to slavery, it's like they don't want to teach we about what happened in slavery. This is what we are going through. We do not know our history. And that's a curse, that's a part of the scriptures. Taken to foreign lands, America, Babylon the Great, or like I said, Egypt. Because they follow everything of Egypt almost everything of Egypt to be exact. So if you all want to stop here and be these bugouts, then by all means. We have done Gentiles, we have done John 3:16, breaking down all them stupid strongholds that have you all stumbling, thinking it means, because you all too lazy to go into words and get understanding, right? There's no problem with me. Let that be for you all to suffer, right? So let me go into closing up this lesson here. Because when you really watch this, Romans chapter 9 and verse 3-4, which states only for the children of Israel, guess where it's going into? Let me get this. Let me see where it's going to. It's going to what? Isaiah chapter what? 45 and 17. And it says, "But Israel shall be saved in the Lord with an everlasting salvation," because we know there was an everlasting covenant that is to be formed, was and is to be formed. Dealing with what? Dealing with Hebrews, which we will go into after. So let me continue. "Israel shall be saved in the Lord with an everlasting salvation. Ye shall be not ashamed nor confounded, world without end." And that's a precept to John 3:16. For God so loved the world. Israel is referred to the world without end. So for God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him shall not perish but have everlasting life. It's speaking of the same thing. They will be given everlasting life. That's why they're referred to as the world without end. So they are the world that is going to receive everlasting salvation. Understand? Now when you go further into 25, giving our understanding, it says, and Yahweh shall, and in Yahweh shall all the seed of Israel be justified and shall glory. They shall be saved. See? Now let go, because when you really watch the situation, right? And I always say this, I don't know, I will always put this here for you all to understand. Precept upon precept, line upon line, right? Who Yahweh came for? Right? Because, roughly paraphrasing, according to the scriptures, Yahweh would what? The Lord would what? Raise up a righteous branch to do what? To rule over the children of Israel, to be exact. To save them. Roughly paraphrasing, of course. So now let me get into Galatians chapter 4 and verse 4 and 5. It says, right? But when the fullness of the time was come, the Most High sent forth his Son, made of a woman, made under the law. And we have already established that understanding, because, come on, it's not referring to Immaculate Conception. We know that. To redeem them that were under the law, right? It says, that we might receive the adoption of sons, right? And who were under the law? We already established that too. Who was under the law? Because we went and showed before. The children of Israel. Leviticus chapter 26 and 46. Who was under the covenant? Exodus chapter 19 and 5 and 6. Who was the only people under the law? Psalm chapter 147, 19 and 20. Romans. There's multiple others, but I use these so direct precepts. Even Psalms 135 and verse 4. Psalms 105 and verse 8 and 9. The list goes on. The list goes on. Luke chapter 1 and verse 69. The list continues. Right? So, just to clear up that understanding right here, 5 and verse, for those, to get an understanding as to who Yahweh came for, or who the Lord sent his Son for, which we will see here. And it says, the Most High of our fathers raised up Yahweh HaMashiach, which you will ignorantly first as Jesus Christ, because that is not his name. We know that. That name was introduced in the 1600s, not BC. So let it be real. Let it be real here, right? Whom ye slew and hung on a tree. Him had the Most High exalted with his right hand to be a prince and a savior, for to give repentance to Israel and forgiveness of sins. The ones that are under the law, that is what he come for. Let me go into Luke chapter 1 and 69, just to give a rough understanding to see who is coming to save. I pass it. I pass it. 68, sorry. Blessed be Yahweh, power of Israel, for he had visited and redeemed his people. Who is his people? Of Lord Yahweh, which is the power of Israel. That's his people. The Israelites, not the place where the Israeli resides. Because we know that they took the land, pertaining to Exodus chapter 36 and 5. Come on, man. So now, closing off onto this lesson, we're going to Romans chapter, back into Romans chapter 11 and verses 26 and 27. It says, right? And so all Israel shall be saved out as it is written. It said, there shall come out of the son of Zion, the deliverer, and shall turn away the ungodliness of Jacob. Right? And it says in 27, for this is my covenant unto them. Right? This is my covenant unto them when I shall take away their sin. And let's go into the cross reference for that. What do you see here? Directly dealing with what? These were the promises was given about the covenant, everlasting. Now let's go into it. Let's go into Hebrews chapter 8 and verse 8. For finding fault with them, he said, behold, the days come, said Yahweh, that when I will make a new covenant with the house of Israel and with the house of Judah, and not according to the covenant that I made with their fathers in the day when I took them out of the hand to lead them out of the land of Egypt, because they continued not in my covenant, and I regarded them not, said Jehovah. Now when you go further, here it says, for this is the covenant that I will make with them, with the house of Israel, after those days, said Jehovah, and I will put my laws into their minds and write them in their hearts, and I will be to them their power, and they shall be to me a people. Going up to 12, it says, and they shall not teach every man his neighbor and every man his brother, saying, know Yahweh, for I shall know me. For all shall know me, Salakia. For all shall know me. From the least to the greatest. As you go further, it says, I will be merciful to their unrighteousness, and their sins and their iniquities will I remember no more. Right? So, the volume of the book is only dealing with the children of Israel. Saving the children of Israel, because we were in multiple captivities in multiple times due to our disobedience, due to falling away. Of course, this is all done through Yahweh Bahasham Yahweh Shai. So, if this can't be more clear than that, I don't know what to tell you. Alright? But anyways, Shalom, Yasharala, Kalhala Yahweh, Bahasham Yahweh Shai, Bahasham Rakakadash. Again, double honor to the apostles and prophets. Like I say, we give double honor to the apostles and prophets and elders and members of GMS Camp, better known as Great Millstone, for the before 100% truth. I be currently edified under and the like-minded brothers speak the like-minded truth to all. Yasharala, I can't force you to receive this, so I pray that Yahweh, allow you to get some understanding, and as you continue on, Shalom.